Hi everyone, it's Lisa Mears. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to be changing up the swing of things and start working on some Valentine's Day cards. And this is a card that I created using Pretty Pink Posh Koala Friends and the Heart Vines die set. Before I get started with this card tutorial, I want to share some really awesome news with you guys. I am now officially part of the Pretty Pink Posh design team, so I'm super excited about that. And I want to let you also know that they will be having an upcoming release on January 6th, so be sure to stay tuned for that. I will be sharing the release on my YouTube channel as well as sharing some cards during the month of January. So this stamp set that I'm coloring up is called Koala Friends from Pretty Pink Posh. And I'm not going to show the coloring of all of these koala bears because once you color one, the coloring is very similar for all of them. So I stamped out the entire stamp set on my Spectrum Noir Ultra Smooth cardstock using my Memento Tuxedo Black ink because that's the combination that I use when I use my Copic markers and I color with alcohol markers. So I went ahead and colored them up. I started with C3 as my darkest and then went into C1 and then C0. And then after I had the entire koala bear colored, I realized that I needed to add a little bit more darker shadow to the koala bear so that it stands out a little bit more. So I did come back in with my C4 and use that as my darkest just to add that in some of the shadow areas. And then for the pinks that you see there, I did use the R11 for the cheeks. And then I also used that for the center of the ears. And then for the tree branch, I used E59 as my dark, and I just put some shadows down and put some lines throughout that tree branch. Now I'm coming in with the E57 and just going over the darkest, which is the E59, and extending the color. And then my last color here is the E53, which I'm just blending that all together. And then I just go back and I do the same thing again, just reapplying those same colors. I reapplied the E59 and then I just blended that out with some of the E53. And then for the leaves, I used the YG09 as the dark and YG07 as the light. And after I added those, I just came back in with the YG09 just to add a little bit more dark. And here I'm just coming in with my Memento dual marker in Tuxedo Black and just coloring up the black part of the nose and the eyes. Sometimes when I stamp out these images, I might not get a very dark impression if something is solid black, like the large nose on these koala bears. So I can just come in with my Memento dual marker just to color that up. It's the same exact color of the ink that I used, and it is Copic friendly, so if you were to color over it, it would not smear that ink. So you can see that it just gave it a little bit of a darker nose and the eyes as well. So here I'm just showing you the coloring of this other koala bear. This stamp set has 6. There's 6 images there. The one on the top obviously has 2 koala bears, and then there's the sentiment that says a happy hello. So I'm not going to show you the coloring for all of these koala bears because they're very similar. So once you color one, they're pretty similar. So I did color them all up. I'm not going to be using them all in this video, however, but I just wanted to show you how they all look when colored, and I'll be able to save some for another project. So I will be using this background die for my cards. This is the Pretty Pink Posh Heart Vines background die set. It has this stitched border all around the frame, and then there are all of these vines that also have stitching within them. And then you have this heart that cuts out an actual heart, and it also has stitching all around. And then you have this die that also comes with it that has all of these little hearts included. So I went ahead and die cut that background die out of green cardstock and pink cardstock. You can see how easy it is just to weed out the pieces that you don't need, and you can see all of those really pretty vines, and I love all of the stitching detail on the die set. So the center heart comes out, so if you wanted to insert a different color heart, you can. You can also use this die to make a shaker card, although I am not going to be making a shaker with this die set today. Instead, I'm just going to be making a flat card. I have this this green background that I'm going to add to a piece of white cardstock, and my piece of white cardstock is measured at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. This die, when it's cut, it actually is the same exact size as an A2 size card base. So you can actually just take that die and put it on an A2 size card base rather than putting it on cardstock like I'm doing here. Okay, so you can see if you wanted to put maybe glitter paper under there or a different color. I just chose to use white. I wanted to keep it simple, but you can do all different color combinations with this die if you chose to. Now you can see how pretty it is with just the green background die attached to the white cardstock, but I'm going to do some paper piecing and I wanted to get different colors. So I'm just cutting the heart out of the pink, and I'm actually going to use this pink heart outline and I'm going to pop it right on top of the green one. So this is how you can get multiple colors on one card. So I'm just going to add glue to the back and just piece it right on top of the green. So now I have all of these vines left over. If I wanted to use those pink vines on another card, I definitely can do that. I'm going to cut these vines away because I want to use just this rectangular frame. So all of these vines, just going to snip them away. I'm just doing some more paper piecing of this die, and this is going to allow me to have a pink frame. So again, just adding different colors to my card front. So I'm going to go ahead and put glue on the back of the frame, and I'm going to add that right over top of that card front. So I wanted to add a little bit more depth to the leaves. So I'm taking my G2 Copic marker and just adding some of that green marker along the stitching lines of all of those leaves. So I'm going to do that for all of them on this card. And I'm going to add the koala onto the heart. So I chose to use the koala with the baby koala on the back. And then I have this other die from Pretty Pink Posh. This is the Love Shaker. It actually will make a shaker heart. I die cut it out of some silver glitter paper, and I just wanted to use the love from the inside. It is connected to the heart, so I just snipped it away. I also die cut another one out of pink cardstock, and I'm going to layer these two die cuts together. So I'm not only layering them, but I'm putting the silver one a little bit to the right of the pink, just so you can see that little bit of a pink tone, kind of like a shadow. And then I'm going to add the word love to the bottom left-hand corner of my card. Next, I went in my stash and I found some pink little sticker gems, and I'm adding them to the vines on the card. So I'm putting them just staggered throughout on each one of the vines, and that just adds a little bit more bling to this card front and a little bit more color, and I love the sparkle that it adds as well. So I'll do the rest off camera, and then once I finish, I'm going to go ahead and add this card front to an A2 size card base that measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So that completes this card. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to click that subscribe button and turn on your bell notifications so that you don't miss any videos from me. Thanks for watching and have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.